So here we are. We're going to have a look at the ECU extension cables that we're making here at Bienvenu Motorsports. So here we have my track bike. As you can see, the ECU would normally be in a cage here, which is extremely prone to damage if you're going to have an accident. The normal thing to do is to flip the cables from this location into position just here inside the frame, and then stick the ECU in a foil somewhere around about there. However, it can still get very hot and you can foul your breather tubes for your fuel tank. So it's not the ideal place to put it. On a YC loom bike, the ECU will be placed somewhere up here. Again, it's not really the best place if you're going to have an accident. That kind of location is going to be a place that where the ECU is going to get damaged. So what we've done is we've created some cables, and this is ideal if you've removed your ABS and fitted one of our FT-ECU flash tune ABS dongle and ABS delete dongles, which frees up all this area here. So the ECU can now be placed in this location. So what we do is we have a set of cables here. These are the shorter version, which are ideal for either running from this location to the ECU or from inside here to the ECU there. So let's go ahead and connect them up and show you the new location. Right, so as you can see, we've got the ECU cable plugged in here into the loom side. We run the cables around here, and then we've got the ECU with a bit of foam underneath to give it a little bit of resistance to knocking around the ABS delete, and we've cable tied it. And I'll cable tie this again across this way to make it a little bit more secure. And there we have it. So pretty quick installation. Once you've obviously taken the tank off and your cross member here that holds your tank in place, then it's a couple of minute job to connect this up. The breather pipes are no longer fouled by the ECU location, and in an accident the ECU's in a much more protected position. We've got the ECU connected up there. If I turn the bike on, we'll of course, because we've got the fuel tank off, we'll of course get a fuel warning, because there's it senses that the fuel tank's not connected. But you'll see that we have no error codes here, and the cable is functioning 100% correctly. We get asked is what about if I've got a flash tune kit installed, either a bike side harness or a blipper kit? You know, what do I need to unplug it from here and wire it into the ECU connector here? The answer is no. When we were thinking about making these, we decided that it would be much easier just to make it plug and play, so you didn't have to change anything on the bike. You just unplugged your ECU from the location where it is, either on the outside of the frame, or if you've relocated it here, you just unplug your ECU, plug our extension cable in, and plug the ECU back in, and away you go. It just made it far simpler to have every pin from this connector, connected to every pin in that, just in case there was something came along in the future. You know, maybe Flash Tune come out with something innovative and new next year, and or in the next few months, and you have to plug into another pin location. It would be simpler if we just did it on where our current pin locations were for the current Flash Tune stuff. Also, of course, this is independent from Flash Tune. You don't have to have Flash Tune in order to use the ECU extension cables. For those guys that would like to keep the cabling on the outside in the normal location, and maybe have the ECU up in the rear or around here somewhere, then we do some longer cables, they're pretty much the same price. We can do them to any length, but these are 1 meter long. So if you get a measuring tape and measure from the stock cable output location to where you're going to route the cable and position it, then it works out 1 meter is a pretty good length cable. So you can order them in our standard size for the location where we have them, which fit perfectly, or you can order in a longer location if you want to locate the ECU somewhere else. Thanks for listening. Any questions, post them below in the comments fields.